Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Jason and Stefan. 22 minutes with Jason and Stefan. What am I saying here? I screwed that up, didn't I? Hey, cue the applause. Applause that, would you? There it is. Here's Stefan Cotton. I was there, Jason Bates, as you can see. Cue the applause again. It's Monday. We're foggy, and you know.
Oh, thank you, everybody.
There you go. There you go, my friend. Hey, we not only hope to entertain you, but also bring you some valuable content that you can actually use when you're looking to buy, sell, refinance, or invest in property. If you're looking to do any of those sort of things in real estate, then we want to be your team of choice right here in Phoenix, Arizona. So thank you for reaching out. If you are going to reach out or thinking about reaching out to us, we'd love to hear from you. Hey, we do this Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Arizona time. So if you're a first-time watcher, again, thank you for participating or being in the show. If you want to participate in the show, you can write your comments below on the post, and they should show up like Amanda did down here. Thanks for the info, guys. So it's a great way for you to interact with the show. We highly encourage that, so reach out to us that way. It's a fantastic way for us to interact with the audience, if there is an audience.
Exactly.
Sometimes I question whether or not there's an audience or not. Hey, let's, well, we always do a tweet quote of the day. So I want to do that real quick. And then we've got a lot of news to cover. Today's Monday Top Newsmakers. So I've got a lot of news to cover. Not a lot, I guess, but some stories that are really in depth that I want to cover. Some really good content this week. So let's do our tweet quote of the day. And this is probably what I need.
Hey now.
Hey now, Stefan. There you go. This tweet was for you, man. It's definitely Monday. stay caffeinated, my friends. There you go. For all you coffee drinkers out there. I'm not even a coffee drinker.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Show off.
Not a coffee. Tea. Yeah. Drink lots of tea.
Oh, drinking crumpets? Crumpets? Do you do the...
No, I'm not a crumpet. Yeah, I'm not an English crumpet dude. But okay, so let's get right into Monday Newsmakers. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. So hey, I want to first. We were talking in the pre-show there. Obviously, our hearts go out to everybody in Texas and Houston. Pretty tragic situation there. So our hearts go out to all the folks in Texas there. In fact, my wife went through her closet this weekend and is now donating a lot of clothing to her, to the folks there in Texas. I'm sure they need it with them losing everything. There's a couple Valley donation centers here. I think the one that she recommended was the one on 22nd and Bell, I think it is. Bell Road. They're taking some trucks and driving to Texas. So if you want to donate, you can certainly check them out or head over to my Facebook page, my personal page, and you'll see it there because I posted it there.
There's a lot of great people that are helping out. I mean, I even heard I listen to sports radio on the way in. They have a connection to, so if people are interested in helping out and compelled to, I think $10 donations is what people are asking for. If everybody in America donated $10, then we'd be in a better situation, I think.
Well, and what did we say last week too? We said, hey, it's going to take some kind of tragic event to bring the nation together. It's unfortunate that this does it, but you know, everybody, no matter religious background, political views, whatever,
right.
Our fellow Americans need each other.
When it comes down to if somebody falls down, we're there to help them.
You're right.
Pick them back up.
Which is good. It's great about this country. All right. Hey, this is tax deduction. So now I have a video here that I'm going to play for this tax deduction. It's now on the table again, apparently. You know, President Trump is trying to push a tax plan together or put a tax plan, whether it be corporate tax plan, but I think even at the individual tax plan. And so the mortgage interest that was on the table, you know, some years ago during the Obama administration, is now back on the table. Not saying they want to do away with it because that might be political suicide. However, it is kind of on the table. So I want to play this little clip here on what this could mean here.
Well, Treasury Secretary Mnuchin floated the idea of reducing the mortgage interest deduction in one of his first interviews last December, but the deduction was conspicuously absent from the more recently released White House principles on tax reform. Just yesterday, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said if you're worried about the deduction, quote, you can breathe easy. However, one industry insider who said he was at a meeting at the White House with Treasury officials very recently says it's on the table. He notes members of Congress saying they aren't going to get rid of it is not the same as saying that they won't touch it. The current deduction is capped at interest paid on $500,000 of mortgage debt for individuals and $1 million of mortgage debt for couples filing jointly. Now, my source tells me that could be lowered to even $600,000 of mortgage debt. Keep in mind, the median home value in America is about $200,000. So who does that really hit? Well, in 2016, it was estimated to cost the government $77 billion, but only about 20% of taxpayers benefit from the deduction, and those are not the most cost-burdened homeowners. If the cap were be lowered to, say, even $500,000, that would affect just 4% of borrowers, but 15% of the dollar volume, because the deduction is so skewed toward upper-income taxpayers. Now, we did contact Senator McConnell's office, but no answer yet.
There you go. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like it. No, listen, because I always thought that, because we never really dived into it, I always thought they're just going to remove all of the deductions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're talking about a $600,000 house, they're talking about the top 1% in our valley, really. You know, we can go through the numbers, but and then even then, you still get $600,000 of that deducted, right, of the interest. So it's not like it just caps out at 600. If they were to go that far to do it, so how many people would it affect versus how much more revenue will it create for our taxes? So it's one of those things where it doesn't affect me, so I'm okay with it, right? But it does affect me. So one of those things. Oh, wait a minute, now it affects me. Okay, I better stand up. So it's not done yet, but it's proposed. It's an interesting concept, I guess. Now that I know that they're not removing it, that was my biggest.
Yeah, not necessarily moving it, but changing it. But where is the line drawn in the sand? That's been always my concern. Like, okay, you start here, but then when what hits the fan again, are you going to lower it down to 300,000 because that's only 50% of the people that it affects? Where does it stop? And that's it's a slippery slope in my opinion. I mean, it's just something that, look, the more homeowners there are, and plus business owners who own all these expensive homes, typically, business owners, whatever. Well, if they don't have that tax deduction, what are they going to do? They're going to increase pricing on their goods that they provide their local communities. Are we going to pay for it in other ways, kind of thing? Or are they going to make it up for it in other ways? This is something that I just don't know what the right answer is. I don't even know that it should even be on the table. Aren't there other areas of the government that they could cut?
My thought has always been like, they took away, because it used to be most of the interest used to be credit cards and card loans and stuff. Mm-hmm. Somebody should run a campaign like, hey, make those deductible again, like a specific amount. Yeah. Just to help the people that need it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what the right answer is, but I think it's political suicide if you touch it. That's just my opinion, and that's I think what's been helping save that right now. And I just think there's other ways that it could be cut. So and messed with. All right, next story here: robots in real estate. Yeah, what is that? Right? Robots in real estate.
My shoulder hurts. I can't even do the.
This next story here, it's just kind of developing, and we've talked a lot about different pressures on real estate agents, automation that's happening, that sort of thing. What does it mean?
It's tough being me. It's tough being you because of the e-mortgage thing that happened.
Exactly. These things are coming down the pipeline. So this is another area that is putting pressure on the industry. This is about a 2-minute long clip, so let me play it and then we'll go from there.
Exchange. Former Goldman Sachs partner Jack Ryan. Jack, great to see you.
Maria, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us. So you are really disrupting the real estate business. Tell us how the technology works.
Well, we've had robot in the home to make it easier to ask questions about the home. I'm sure we've all been through that experience, Maria, where you walk into a home and someone says, here's the refrigerator. You're like, well, I know that's a refrigerator, thank you. Here's the bathroom. I know that's a bathroom. So in our way of doing it, you just walk in the home, you look around, you have questions, you ask Rex the robot, and answers all the questions you have. Basically, there's 75 questions you have about a home. We found that out. And there's 100 different ways to ask those 75 questions. We trained the robots to answer all those questions so that no one has to follow you around and, say this home is 2,500 square feet. You can just ask the robot if you have...
Does the robot know the background of the environment? Can they actually tell you things about the competitive landscape the way the real estate agent would?
So we do have people interacting with the buyers and the sellers, but the robot not only works in the home, but even to find buyers. So we charge 2% rather than 6% because we don't use the MLS to find the buyer. We don't use humans to find the buyer. We use robots to find the buyer. So back in my Goldman Sachs days, if we said, hey, we're going to sell a division of 3M, and we'll pay Morgan Stanley 3% to find a buyer, that'd be crazy. You'd say, no, we hired you to find the buyer, not to pay someone else to find a buyer for me. Right. So we identify buyers through big data, artificial intelligence. We know so much about you, Governor or Dagan, that we can find out if you're a possible buyer for this home, drive you to a website. If you like it, we find people just like you, because we know people who have the same purchase patterns as you, same lifestyle choices as you, find them too, advertise to them on Google, Facebook, Instagram, Waze, Snapchat, the rest, and target them too. Then once you come to that website too, we know what your behaviors were, so we change the ad for you because we know you care about pools, Dagan, you care about schools, Maria, you care about the neighborhood. And so the ad changes the things that you guys care most about.
So are you replacing or disrupting the standard real estate agent, or is there any part of the business that works alongside with the agent?
No, we don't use the agents at all, but we're not displacing them. I mean, if you're not a very good agent, I think you're going to have problems competing against the robot. But if you're good, you'll still have a job. But I think if we're charging 2% and they're charging 6%, there's obviously a consolidation that has to occur.
There you go. What do you think about that? What do you think?
Well, first thing, computers are scary. Change is bad, but it's also, I think like you said, if you're a good agent, then what do I have to worry about? But the other thing is, how soon is the technology going to roll out? Is it going to be successful? And are people scared to have all their information online? Listen, the social media, the social marketing, all that stuff that gets done is kind of scary, right? I mean, you can really dive into. So they get 2%. They probably spend 1% of that marketing. So they get 1%. They're collecting 1% on the sale of the home.
This, and I didn't keep the whole clip, but because it was like a 5-minute long clip or whatever. But it's currently in Los Angeles, San Diego, and they just started in New York. And the numbers in Los Angeles, they're selling about a home a day. So those are the only two markets that they're in. They just started in New York with this. What was interesting to me on this is his marketing, Facebook ads, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever. So online marketing, we all know that a lot of people go online first and foremost to search for homes. And that's where they're trying to capture them. I've had these discussions with agents here locally, because there are a lot of agents who don't do any online advertising at all. Yet here's a company that is going to be exclusively online, and they're selling a home a day. You could be a disruptor as an individual agent if you would speak to your audience, and that being a home buyer, right? Finding the home buyers online. You can do the same thing. It's no secret sauce what he's doing. All he's doing is replacing you by putting basically a computer into the home that has all the answers to the questions about the home, which is what I've always said about agents too. Like, get to know the home. Tell me the details of the home, who the architect is, who the builder is, when it was built. Tell me all the details. As a buyer, that's what I want to know. I can see the floor plan. I can see if it's going to work for my lifestyle. But the details, attention to details in realtors, that's where I think the good agents really separate themselves from it. And that's all he's doing with that computer, is just allowing the consumer to get the information on their own.
Well, the other thing is, we'll see. One a day, that's 300 houses a year, right? For LA, for all of LA,
it's not much.
I don't know how many. Yeah.
But there's low supply too, though.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say next is we don't have, right now, We put a house on the market. If it's priced right, it sells quick. It always has, always will. If it's priced right, it sells quick. The question is, what's the right price? Yeah. And the other thing is, how do we? Sometimes you list a house for 200 and you actually sell it for 210, right, or 215, because you work with another human to negotiate it versus is this acceptable by you? And then if I get it to 215, didn't I earn that extra 4%, which is $8,000?
Right.
Dollars, and I don't get that $8,000, right? It gets split between two humans, as they will. But those two humans have two teams, so that $8,000 gets split along the way, feeds families, and keeps the commerce going. But plus, there's a human factor involved. I don't know. I'm interested. We'll follow up with this thing. But what do you guys think out there? I mean, do you think real estate robots are where it's at?
Yeah, and when I thought of robot, I thought it was like a robot kind of walking through the house or something, or kind of rolling through the house or whatever. So it's not really robot, but like you mentioned too, I think a lot of people might be a little fearful. Like he mentioned, okay, your interest is schools, your interest is shopping, your interest, and to get to know all that, I don't know where they're pulling that data from necessarily. If there's like a form that you have to fill out, and how willing are people?
No, because you Google searched top rated schools. Phoenix.
Yeah.
And you Google searched top rated, pool makers, or, if you're only liking houses that have pools, it doesn't take too long for the algorithm to tell you that, hey, this person likes pools. The other thing too is I was going to say, I have some agents here in this office and then my previous offices that are pretty much robots. They have no personality. So that's what you're looking for.
That's what you're looking for. Stefan's got it. You got a guy. Hey, okay, so next story here. I want to go into the numbers here. Last week, there were some numbers about new home sales and things like that. I subscribe to Barry Habib. Barry Habib has done a lot of, like on the Fox Business and things like that. He comes on as a mortgage expert throughout the country. He's well known in our industry as a mortgage expert. I get a daily email every single day about the market, his take on the market, what's happening, those sort of things. I want to play today, and you just tell me.
A daily email that comes to you every day?
Did I say that? Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, that's good.
Yeah. Tweet quote of the day, a daily email that comes every day. Hashtag every day.
Right.
All right. Thanks for pointing that out, Stefan. Appreciate that, buddy. All right, cool. So let's play this, and then tell me if you want to pause it or whatever, and we'll pause and talk about it. Can you hear that?
No.
Oh man. Really?
I wonder how long his hair is. How much of that is combed back?
Well, if you can't hear it, then it's not going to do us any good, right? I thought you could hear it, and you can't.
Bullet points.
So bullet points is he talks about job numbers. Job numbers are coming out this week. I want to look at the ADP numbers and see what they tell us. Last week, new home sales came out. New home sales only represents about 10% of the actual market. And the media kind of jumped on that. Not that because they weren't as high as expected. But he also points out that the month prior, the numbers were adjusted. And so this percentage, 9.4%, I think it was down 9 or 6.4% or something like that, down. Well, that's over an adjusted number. And when you really look at the numbers, it was only down, I think he said like 1,000 homes or something like that. So it really wasn't that big of a number. And again, it only represents 10% of the actual market. So it's not a true reflection of the market, because a lot of analysts are saying, oh, the market's in a bubble now. It's starting to collapse. It's starting to come down, price points. And this is very typical this time of year, that prices kind of level off, right?
Well, we were showing that last week, and we show that every Friday. Everybody would kind of go over the comfort report that shows the trends. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious when every year August goes like this a little bit, every year, that don't be surprised when it does that again this year.
Yeah, it was super. He was really bagging on the first clip that we had there, Diana Olick or whatever. He's really bagging on her because he there's a little bit of a journalistic war going on between those two, because he's looking at the numbers from the mortgage perspective. She's looking at it as, hey, I'm trying to get, well, at least in his eyes, trying to get ratings for my show and my reporting and things like that, where he's diving into the numbers a little deeper.
Well, what if I told you this, Jason? What if I told you, hey, I'm the builder, and we're not going to be able to close this month because the tariffs were released, increased, so we're trying to find cheaper wood. We don't have enough workforce power, which is two things we both talked about as far as new build stuff. We're not going to be able to close this house in September or August. It's actually going to be more like, maybe September or October. I mean, we're going to have to push this stuff back. Are you okay with that as the consumer? You have to be, because I'm building a brand new house. So this delay or this reduction might actually have, that's one of the variables of the reasons why, right? Like things have slowed down. We're supposed to record on this new build probably 5-6 weeks ago. We're going to record on it in about 5 or 6 more weeks. So does it mean that the new market or the new hospital has slowed down? No, it just means that they're slowing down their end of the production line. Really.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't take a real estate robot to figure that out.
But the media will make it sound like a much bigger portion of the market than what it truly is. And that's the point he was making, is that it's keep everything in perspective. Yes, it's a number. Yes, it's something we need to pay attention to. But is it as hyped up as it should be in the media? No. And so without him saying it, he's kind of like, hey, this is a little bit of fake news going on here. But we encounter that all the time, right? With people, well, I heard this, and they get all hyped up about things, and then we got to bring them back down to earth a little bit. Like, okay, yes, that happened, but this is what it really means, and this is something that's normal. It's not abnormal for our market.
Right.
And so that's what he was kind of putting out there this week.
Like gluten-free chicken.
Gluten-free chicken. I don't know. What's gluten-free chicken? Does that mean better health?
I think it means it's not breaded.
Oh.
Like it's a chicken.
Oh.
Because I don't think there's gluten in meat. See.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh, yeah, this chicken isn't gluten-free.
Right. Stating kind of the obvious, I guess, but it wasn't so obvious for me.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's obvious to us, but to the consumer out there, as we go through the trends and stuff. But
exactly.
Yeah. So when the sky's not falling, is what we're saying.
Well, I'll try to get the sound bite to it maybe, and we'll play it later or whatever. He does it daily, like I said, so maybe he'll elaborate on it a little bit tomorrow, and I can play it as well. So with that, hey, we're out of time on today's show. So some pretty cool news that was out there. Hey, if you've got something you'd like for us to cover, be sure to reach out to us on the show. Head over to our Facebook page. While you're there, like the page, and then at the bottom of this post, write your comments. We'd love to hear from you. Certainly, if you're looking to buy, sell, refinance, or invest in property here in the Phoenix metropolitan area, we want to be your team of choice, so please reach out to us. We'd love to help you with your piece of the American dream. With that, I think we'll wrap it all up. And tomorrow, Trending Tuesday, tomorrow, 9 a.m., and you can check us out live on our Facebook page.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.